Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I want to sincerely welcome you to Distant Learning Institute, University of Lagos. My name is Dr. Peter Olatunji Olaiwola, Senior Lecturer and the former Head of Department of Accounting and Business Administration. I want to congratulate you for your admission into the Institute. It is my prayer that the God who has brought you to start well will grant you the grace to finish well. I want to be interacting with you on attribute of successful distance learners. And in doing that, I'm going to be taking you through the introduction and the learning objectives very shortly. Introduction, peculiarity and uniqueness of distance education. When you talk of the uniqueness of distance education, you are looking at a situation where there is a distance, there's a gap between the learners as well as the tutors. And the only way to bring the two of them together is technology. And that is to say that choosing to study through distance education, you may not have those you call your lecturer, you may not see them every day. You will see facilitator, you are expected to learn on your own at your own space. And maybe periodically, once in 2 weeks, you come for interaction to ask questions on those areas that you have studied and that you do not understand. It is also flexible. It's flexible in the sense that you can choose the time and where you want to study. It's accessible. You can access resources online anywhere you are in the world. So it's accessible. You can see your questions, you can see a number of things. And then it is a lifelong learning. And that's to say, at any point in time, you can you can decide to study. In the course of your course here, you will see a lot of retired people in their various places of work that are coming back for a first degree. You see chartered accountants that are already successful that are coming back for first degree. And so it is a lifelong learning. You can learn, you can continue to study all throughout your life. Of course, it is only when one dies that he stops learning. Then quality. It's a quality education you have come to embrace by choosing to come for a distance education. And so there are no more lecturers, but you have facilitators. You have people that will enhance your learning by giving you a number of supports. Then note also that you get what you give. You get what you give. So if you give quality time to your study, you are going to get quality results. If you do not give, if you give a poor, time to your study, you are going to get exactly what you give. So it is important that you have this at the back of your mind. Now, learning outcome. By the time we conclude this session of discussion, you should be able to differentiate between distance education and face-to-face learners. Then you also should be able to list challenges of distance learners, explain planning, time, and financial resources, then transformation from analog to technology enhanced learning environment called digital, and then explain uh, learning style. So very quickly, we look at open distance education versus face-to-face. For the attribute of open distance education is flexibility, equitable, equality, extensive learner support, learner focus, modular and thematic, individual learning pace. And so when you look at flexibility, I've told you that before, you can study anywhere at any time. Equitable, it is, it is for as many as those that want to access it, it is equally available for them. In the equality, equality, whether you finish from face to face or you finish from distant learning, you are all equal in terms of your learning content. It will amaze you that those who teach face to face are still those who facilitate our courses here. And so the quality of what it, taught their students in their various faculty is what they teach you here. And they also, the majority of those who wrote the modules that you are using, and most of the regular students or face-to-face students are also using the same material. Then you have extensive learner support. What they don't have that you have is you have support. Everywhere you go, you can ask for support. You have people that assist you. Apart from your facilitator that meet you one-on-one, you also have e-tutors who meet you online. You can ask questions online. You can engage your colleagues online and all of that. And then you also talk of learner focused. We focused on learner. We are not focusing on who is teaching, but we are interested in how much of knowledge we are able to impact into your life. We also talk of individual learning paced. You can choose the time and period and number of hours you will spend to do your study. What is important is the ability to adequately prepare yourself for your evaluation. And then, but when you go to face, they talk of rigidity, very rigid. 7 o'clock lecture, 8 o'clock lecture, 10 o'clock lecture, you must be there. If you are not there for a percentage of time, you may not be able to attempt examination. In distant education, it's not your coming for tutorial is not compulsory. You can choose to come, you can choose not to come and do your study on your own. Face-to-face is restricted. Once you don't have the time, you are restricted to a particular location, to a particular time period to study, to attend lectures. So it's restricted. But in terms of entry requirement is both the same for distant education. Distant students or learners. Distance learners, the same thing for distant learners as well as face-to-face. And this is done in the wisdom that nobody will accuse you. If anybody goes to face-to-face and you come to distant learning, both of you have the same basic qualification to do the course that you are doing. And therefore, for parity's sake, for the certificate you are holding, you will be getting will not be different from the one they are getting from face-to-face. So the entry requirements is the same. Face-to-face is time-bound, like I said, restricted to a period of time. Once you miss it, you miss it. And then it's expensive. So we also look at what are those challenges that distance education, the challenges of distance education. Now you will agree with me that if you have been working and you have not been schooling, now you want to be working and also be schooling. And so it becomes, how do you ensure that you are doing your work the way you ought to do it in your place of work, and you are also not, your academics is not suffering. So it's a challenge. You have to work around this challenge. Number two, family responsibility and study. So many of you are married with children, so you are catering for your spouse, you are catering for your children, you are catering for your own school. So you also need to begin to look at how do you work out such that your family will not suffer and your education will not suffer, as well as so many other things that you are engaged in. The same thing with social and religion engagement and study. Many of you are pastors, many of you are deacons, many of you are alfa and imams. And so you have been committed socially, you have been committed religiously. And therefore, at the end of the day, you need to work out the strategy to cope with your education. If you do more of if you do more of one than the other, it will affect the other. So you have to be wise to find the equilibrium on how to distribute your time among all the various activities that you needed to undertake. Now, planning your time. One of the key things that you need to do in planning your time is you need to have a self-motivation and determination. You have to be self-motivated and determined to succeed. This is the only way out. The only way you can navigate around your study is your ability to actually be self-determined and self-motivated, so that for you to pursue your education and get the best out of it, for all the opportunities that are waiting for you in the nearest future. This is very important. Your time management is key. Of course, time is fixed, 24 hours per day for everyone, the rich, the poor, and all. When the time is not used, it's wasted. And a wasted time can never be recalled back. It is already gone and gone forever. And therefore, there's need for you to plan your time, identify your daily, your weekly, your monthly, your quarterly, and use your time wisely. This is very important. You must use your time wisely. It is only when you use your time wisely that you get the best out of it. So take time to evaluate the use of your time on daily basis, on weekly basis, on monthly basis, so that you'll be able to look at where you have mismanaged or misused your time. This is very, very important. Now, very quickly, we also talked about ability and willingness to study independently. You must be self-motivated, like we said before. You should be able to study independently, because it is not all the time you will see your colleagues around you. He has gone to his place of work, he's taking care of his own family, he has one engagement or the other. So you have to learn to study independently. This is very, very key. Then, actively involved learners. You must be an actively involved learner. You must be. And for you to be able to be involved is ask questions, make contribution. When discussion are ongoing about a topic, say your own idea. If your idea is correct, fine. If it's not idea, you will be corrected and you get the right thing. So don't keep quiet. Don't watch others do. You also make contribution to question raised. Ability to discipline yourself to study without external reminder. This is also very important. There's need for you to constantly tell yourself you need to study, you need to give good time to your study to get out good result. This is very important. So it is very, very important. And ability to adapt to new learning environment. New learning environments that you have is that nobody will teach you everything. You are going to learn so many things on your own, and that should keep ringing. And so it is not only your textbook you are going to use now, you are going to use all manner of mixed formats of the resources you need to actually scale through. And so you have to get used to using computer. Of course, in your year one, most of your courses, those of you that are coming in year one, most of your courses are to be written on CBT. We have seen a number of people that their hand will be shaking when they hold mouse. And so to click and to do a number of things become difficult. So these are areas that you need to improve yourself, because you are moving from analog to digital life. And therefore, you cannot be here without basic understanding of how to use computer. A number for your assignment, a number of your continuous assessment will be online. And therefore, you need to come home and become used to the ICT facilities and the infrastructure that are needed for you to actually succeed in your study. Then, be part of active study group, particularly in the area of your weaknesses. Make sure, many of you, I know you are quantitatively biased. You are afraid. You have phobia for quantitative courses. Therefore, you need to start on time. Align with those people that are good and are good in that area, so that you start getting yourself ready to acclimatize and successfully bring these courses behind you. You also do, so how best you learn. You need to identify how best to learn, and that's what we call learning style. We have the auditory learners. They learn best when they listen and exchange ideas with others. They like people teaching them. And like I told you, there is not going to be more teaching, but in your various groups, you can begin to teach yourself. It is not that there is going to be completely elimination of people explaining concepts to you. But what we're saying is that, look, it's not going to be as as you have been used to it in your previous studies. This is a new environment, and so you need yeah, these people want to listen, and so many times we record our lecture, we put it online, so you can listen while you are driving. So people who learn through listening to other people's explanation, listening through their hearing CD and all the rest of it. These are way. If this is the best way you study, you can also record. If you come on time, any day your facilitator is explaining a concept, you can take your phone and record and then play back later. Kinesthetic learner want to be involved in doing. They actively involved in class group discussion. The people in this category want to learn by being part of it. And you will see this kind of people by the time they are reading their study session, the self-assessment question after they want to solve. They have a place, they have solved all of those problems. This helps. This helps. This is the idea each and every distant learner should even, get familiar with this kind of a thing, so that you form group discussion, you solve past question papers, you look for ways of, bringing difficult topics and then bringing them down to your own level of understanding. Provide solution to all assignments, because the same assignment you were given as an assignment that you open book to do will be a question in your exam. And if you have copied somebody, by the time you get to the exam and you find out that it is that same thing, and because you have not ready to just copy somebody else, at the end of the day, you won't be able to make it. So it is very important to have this at the back of your mind. Then tactual learners, feelings and sensitivity through interpersonal communication. When you communicate with others, they learn from the ideas of others. You want to find out from others. This thing they asked us to do, how did you do it? Oh, I did it this way, I did it this way. Oh, okay. And then you go back again, you look at what he said he has done, and then you do your own. So interacting with other people, interpersonal communication, finding out what people have done. You are not in class today, you are interested, you are calling your colleague, what did you do? Can you just send a brief of what you did to me? If you record it, if it's in a video format, can you send it to me? And then we also have visual learners, those who learn through picture, map, images, diagram, the views, slides. Most times you will see some of those concepts you need to know. We put them in slide and put it on online. You can download and look at them, so that you'll be able to get some cogent point and then learn through them. And then planning your finance. I've told you, you need to plan your finance. You will discover you need to plan financially for the for your sojourn in Distant Learning Institute, University of Lagos. You need to acquire basic gadgets that will enable you to actually do well. You need a functional Android phone. You need a laptop or a desktop. It is not all your assignments you can do on your phone. It's faster sometimes when you work on your laptop. So it is very important to acquire some functional phone, as well as a laptop or a desktop that you can use to actually do your assignment. This is very important. And you will also agree with me that you will need to pay subscription. You have to continue to subscribe. If you want to access internet, you need to subscribe to the various telecommunication company you use. So it is going to cost you money. So you need to have it. You need to buy CD, you buy a DVD, and several other resources you will need to learn. You will purchase of self-learning material in multiple formats. Of course, you have your you have your learning material, which we call modules. You have them in printed copy, which it is compulsory for you to get it. We also have them in soft copy. You need to get all of those ones. And as you get all of these things, so you spend money. Although part of your service charge, your self-learning material has been built into it. But for example, if you are expected to get 8, the distant learning are giving you 6, you could pick the remaining 3 as soft copy, if it is going to be cheaper than buying them in hard copy. So all of this will require money. Then early payment of your school fees or service charges and other financial obligations is very important, because that's the only time you will have access to a number of resources that are online. So it is important that you plan your finances very, very well. How do you plan to meet up your financial obligations? One, join a cooperative society where you can also have access to loan to pay uh, your school fees. So it is important that you save ahead. As you are paying your school fees now, I'm sure many of you are here, you are already paying your school fees, that's why you are here. So start saving towards the next session. A lot of people will not finish their courses here because of financial challenges, but you can prevent it if you plan your finance very well. Then, or join monthly contributions. Join monthly contributions where you can target the month when the school will be resuming to get your own, so that you can pay on time and then get your material and start getting yourself ready for material. If you get your material much earlier in at the beginning of the session, it helps you to have gone through them before the examination period. If you are paying late, you are likely not to have access to those material on time, and therefore you have to rush, and that will affect whatever you are doing. And lastly, maintain a financial discipline throughout your life, not only while you are in school. Don't do things because your friends are doing it. Don't organize a birthday party because your friend did so and spent so much. Have at the back of your mind that you want to finish and finish well with a very good degree. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be stopping here. I want to believe that you have been able to get few of the attributes of a distant learner. I wish you success in your sojourn here in Distant Learning Institute, University of Lagos. I wish you success in your entire life. Thank you very much for listening. God bless you.